elongated-headed Antarctic Circle alien image along with the African Sphinx of Genesis 49 chapter and 8 verse. This is the aerial viewed image in which you're looking at, where the three Giza pyramids of Isaiah 19:19 also appears in the Antarctic Circle. In the Antarctic Circle. Now, the United States Marines has parachuted down in front of these ice-covered three Giza pyramids that are aligned in the same way and manner in which the Giza pyramids are in Northeast Africa. When we look at the African Sphinx face frozen, we're looking at the frozen ice sheet or the mountains underneath the frozen ice sheet. This is the topography image of the Sphinx face that is we see as we air review the Antarctic Circle. Now, the elongated headed, 4 feet tall, 3 fingers and 1 thumb on each hand, aliens of Ezekiel's Old Testament glowing, willing to will like UFOs, these turn out to be that God is not a man, biological extraterrestrial life form, since they do not have a penis or vagina between their legs. As we look at this false Lord God image in the European Gentile nations that was supposed to tell the story about the African continent Sphinx in Egypt, who ruled from North Africa to South Africa over the original normal shape-headed African Adamic race, in which populated the African continent. Now, if we draw 12 horizontal lines from south to north across the African continent, and then view them with satellite imagery, we will see nothing but African tribes living in each of the 12 horizontal geographic land surface lines. And which brings us back into the terminology in which I call the original 12 African continent tribes, in which the book of Genesis 49 chapter and 8 verse, Ethiopian, Chaldean, Lion, thinks of Judea and Jerusalem ruled over. Now, as we make this archaeological and theological discovery concerning the Dome of the Rock and the aliens of the Old Testament glowing ruling the world like UFOs of Ezekiel, we're looking at Arabia, Jethro Mountain, where in the Bible, in the mistranslated King James Bible, that denied the Gizasphinx line of Judea and Jerusalem of Ezra 1:3, okay, we're looking at this Jethro cave, which was renamed in the European Gentile nations Babylon, okay, carried out in the 16th century by the King James of England, appointed 72 Greek and Hebrew scholars. Now, as they mistranslated the African continent Sphinx role as the origin of Judaism, the 12 African continent tribes was illegally renamed in the 16th century into the book of Psalms, 105th chapter, 23rd verse, 12 sons of Jacob. As the 12 sons of Jacob is wrongfully credited with leaving the Babylonian steppe pyramid Eve civilization of Ham as they entered into ancient Egypt. As they entered into ancient Egypt and started ancient Judaism. So as we look at this African Sphinx of the Bible being denied in theological racism within the Afro-American Bible, that's read in every Afro-American church. This is the 1611 King James of England Bible. Now, when we look at this Ethiopian cross-shaped building structure in Lalibela, being the architectural origin of the Dome of the Rock, and we see this when we look at the octagonal building structure outer wall of next to this entrance door. We see a dual stone X, one white X below the other. Now, on a blank sheet of paper, if you write one X above the other, and then draw a straight line from the corners of the upper X so that they intersect with the corners of the bottom X, the resulting image is a stone Ethiopian cross-shaped building structure located in modern Lalibela. In other words, we have discovered that the Gizasphinx of the aliens of the Antarctic Circle, he is connected to the Ethiopian stone cross-shaped building structure in Lalibela, origin of the temple. Origin, I say, of the architectural origin of the Dome of the Rock. So this is why we see the Masonic square base of the Giza Pyramid in Northeast Africa. If you draw a square on a blank sheet of paper and then superimpose another square sideways, that's called the double Masonic square. And the intersecting lines can be seen generating the Dome of the Rock octagonal main structure in Jerusalem. In other words, the Ethiopian cross-shaped building structure in Lalibela, if you enter into it, this stone cross-shaped image of Nibiru is sitting in the Dome of the Rock of Psalms 105th chapter 23rd verse, original 12 African continent tribes, and not the 12 sons of Jacob. Now, although there's Babylonian steppe pyramids in Iraq, there's also existing African steppe pyramids of Saqqara and all around the world. So thank you for viewing these great archaeological and theological and astronomical discoveries of Laurel Smith of Chicago, Illinois. Non-profit, home video, and artwork creations.